Hello, all. So, I just saw Mockingjay Part 2, and I did do a review quite a while back on Mockingjay Part 1, so I thought I should do a review on Part 2. Now, warning, I am going to spoil almost all of the movie, you guys. I really want to talk about this, I think it's important, so I'm going to spoil a lot of the movie, okay? The entire movie and the book that this is based on is going to be spoiled. So, first off, the complaints. There are actually quite a couple complaints. This movie had a lot of problems to it. I had mentioned in my first review on Mockingjay Part 1 that I didn't know how they would pull off the Part 2 with a PG-13 rating because the book became extremely dark, became extremely harsh, because it's a story about war. A lot of people die and a lot of brutal stuff happens. And I was right. Part 2, Mockingjay Part 2, is an obvious R movie that has been so heavily edited into being PG-13. It doesn't have the impact it needs to have. Like, it just feels very watered down and very dishonest. Big spoilers, but when Katniss' sister dies, which in the book was an extremely shocking moment, had you put down this book for a moment because it was so hard to take in, and it just kind of kicked you in the gut. When that scene happens in the movie, it happens so quick, it barely registers. Like, barely registers, and they don't even mention her death until like 15 minutes later. There is one scene about Katniss getting upset about the death, but that's really it. And that's a good scene. That's a good scene, but that's really it. The death has barely any impact. It was the most important part of the story, and it's just so shortchanged here. There's also this scene about them being attacked in the sewer system by these creatures. And this fight scene was extremely edited in order to get a PG-13 rating. It was edited so much, it's almost next to impossible to follow this scene. You cannot follow this scene in the sewer. It is literally next to impossible to follow. So that action scene, which would have been really impressive and really scary and really intense, is completely shortchanged by the PG-13 rating. The death of Katniss' sister, which should be extremely shocking, is extremely shortchanged by the PG-13 rating. So yeah, the PG-13 rating of this film really hurt it. Like, really hurt it. All the other movies in the series, they were able to get away with it. This one, no. It just didn't work. At least for me. Another thing that didn't work for me was Mockingjay Part 1 had all these scenes added that were not in the book that showed off the actual war and what was actually happening, and it kind of expanded the universe. And that was cool. You saw people fight and you saw what was happening. In this, it follows the book a lot more closely. You follow Katniss along. And what's Katniss doing? She's following these filming groups which are walking through a destroyed city doing propaganda videos. And that's it. Now, in the book, this made sense because it was first person, but in the movie, you're basically following these people around that go from war scene to war scene without actually seeing those battles. So you see this destroyed city. You knew this big, huge battle went down, this big, epic battle, but you never see it. So it's like you keep seeing all these war-torn cities. You keep saying, wow, a big fight must have gone down here. And you never see it. So there's indication of war, but you never really see it. Once again, it feels like the story has been shortchanged. And it feels like that more serious, darker, more extreme film that we should have got will never be. The last thing that really bugged me is, just like with the book, the movie has this extremely, spoilers again, has this extremely happy, out of place ending. The book was extreme downer. The movie is extreme downer. It deserves a sad ending. To suddenly slap a happy ending on it out of nowhere makes no sense and is extremely dishonest. I'm sorry, but it doesn't even make sense plot-wise. Katniss just killed District 13 leader instead of President Snow. She would be executed for that. She would. She wouldn't get a pass for that. But she does because of reasons, and then everything ends up happy. It doesn't even fit with the world or the universe it's set up. So, no. It should have ended with like Katniss killing herself because her sister died and she was just killed off the leader of District 13, so she knows she's going to be executed any day now. Most people would probably kill themselves under those circumstances. So I know that would be a bummer of an ending, but it's not supposed to be a happy story. Slapping a happy ending on it is dishonest. I'm sorry, it's dishonest here. So yeah, I didn't like all those elements. I do think this is actually the weakest Hunger Games movie by far because it feels like it's not as harsh or as honest as it should be. Now, saying all of that and making all those complaints, I am still going to say that it should be seen. And I hope it makes a lot of money and I hope it makes impact because it makes a really important statement. It does. Because recently, ISIS has been attacking a whole bunch of countries. It's this militant group, it's this terrorist group, and they've attacked Egypt and Paris and countless other places. And countless people have died. And in a very real way, they are our President Snow. They are our obvious enemy. They are the bad guys. And we will want to stop them. We will want to fight back. We will side with District 13, as it were. In this case, that's the US, that's Paris, that's Canada. That's the big name, powerful countries. The countries that will want to fight back against ISIS. We will side with these countries. We will side with District 13. But these countries will be biased. They will have their own agendas. They won't really care about taking out ISIS or District 1, as it were. They'll just care about making money, and that's it. They'll end up blowing to bejesus whatever country ISIS happens to be in. Countless innocent people will die. And everybody will end up patting themselves on the back because we hit back the terrorists. But in the process, refugees didn't get a country they could go to. Countless innocent people got bombed to death, and we became monsters. That's what this movie's about. It's about how war makes you side with people who use the media to make themselves look great. And in the end, those people you're siding with, those people you're going to war for, District 13, the people who are supposed to be in the right, are monsters. And you're a monster, too. And there are no heroes in war. That is the point of this film. That is what it's trying to say. And I think we have to really realize that if we allow these attacks, this horrible group has done, if we allow these attacks to control our actions and cause us to attack other people that happen to live in the same country or just are trying to flee from these bad people, they're just trying to find a home to live in. If we allow these attacks to say you're not allowed to live here, go away, and well, then we're monsters, and we're horrible people, and we're as bad as District 13. So I do think it's important that we have a movie show that in war there is no hero and everybody is out for themselves. And it's a depressing statement. It's a sad statement. It's a statement you don't want to hear. But sometimes you gotta hear bad news. So I will still recommend it, and I will still say it punches you a little bit in the gut because I'm almost crying right now. But yeah, I do think it's an important statement, even if it was shortchanged. So go see it. I'm sorry I spoiled it, and I hope you enjoy it. Cheers.